Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch successor, or the Switch 2, whatever you want to call it. I probably should have jumped on this about 6 or 7 months ago, so that way I could be on the same bandwagon as all the other Nintendo YouTubers who say, huge Nintendo Switch news, huge Nintendo Switch 2 news, Switch 2 leaks, huge Switch 2 leaks. You're a huge liar, and we're going to talk about why. So, over the last few years, the Nintendo Switch has just continued dominating the gaming market, honestly. Their sales are ridiculous. They're still making huge hardware and software sales. I wouldn't say huge, but they're still doing really well. They're maintaining their momentum. But the Switch has been out for a long time. I mean, we're going on 10 years, and people are ready for the successor to release. Well, Nintendo made an announcement that they were going to announce fully announce the Nintendo Switch successor this fiscal year. So all year throughout 2024, every time there was a direct, every time there was any kind of tweet from Nintendo, there was tons of speculation going around on YouTube. People obviously were excited for a successor, but people were kind of using that, clickbaiting it, to spread misinformation or just basically guess at what they think's going to happen, but they didn't say that. They frame it in a way that makes it look like they know something you don't, because they're somehow in the know. And so anytime there was a direct, everyone gets excited. Oh, this is going to be the one. They're going to tell us all about the Nintendo Switch 2. And then nothing happens. And we just had, coming up on this recent Nintendo Direct, when we knew it was coming, we had tons of speculation going into it. Everyone thought that this was going to be where they announced it, and it wasn't. So all of those videos that they made were pretty much useless. I want to make this in anticipation of the successor being announced to see if I was right. So I'm kind of making it to discuss some things with you guys, but I'm also doing it to see if I'm even close to right on what I believe is going to happen. So I believe that Nintendo is going to release the Switch, or announce the new Switch, in March of 2025. And that's right at the end of the fiscal year. And then you're going to have, from then until November, in November they're going to fully release it, November of 2025. And the reason I think that is because you're going to have from March to November to get excited about it, plan your Christmas list, plan your shopping list for birthdays and things like that, at the end of the year when it's going to be released. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen with that. Another thing that's been going crazy is all of the first-party games that Nintendo has released this year. That was kind of when I knew that we were in 2023 when we watched that direct, and there were a bunch of games slated, first-party games slated to come out in 2024. That was when I kind of knew that we probably weren't getting a Nintendo Switch 2 announcement in 2024. Like, I was like 95% positive that it wasn't going to be this year. And I think I said that in one of my direct videos. If I did, then I'm going to go back and play that here. Are we going to go through all of 2024 without a new console? Nintendo all throughout 2024 released, first party game after first party game. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Mario and Luigi Brothership, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. We've got all these different games that they came out, and obviously Princess Peach game and all that was announced, and Paper Mario and all that was announced at the end of 2023. So Nintendo also did some other really strange things this year instead of announcing the Switch 2, which has kind of led me down this rabbit hole. They announced a $100 digital alarm clock that wakes you up when you move side to side, and you punch. It makes the block punching sound from Mario. Yay! And then they released are releasing a music app that's got all of like the Nintendo licensed audio from way back all the way to current gen. Like the tracks, the soundtracks from the games. I don't know who asked for this. These are things, I don't know if Nintendo's releasing these things just kind of like, because in their mind they're like, well, at least we're releasing something, and that's going to buy time for people until we actually announce the Switch successor. But it is strange. Nintendo's been on a bit of a rampage lately, I would say, as far as They're getting involved in tons of lawsuits, like the lawsuit with Pal World over patent infringement. Aside from the lawsuits, the Nintendo Land announcements, like the previous Direct was obviously all about Donkey Kong Country at Nintendo Land. They've been doing a lot of really strange stuff. I mean, they've also been working on movies and things. You know, the Super Mario movie was awesome, and I think it's rumored now, I'm not 100% positive. I don't really keep up with everything Nintendo does. I do keep up with more of what they do than I do, say, Sony or Microsoft. But I don't really keep up with everything. I think there's a Zelda movie in the works, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it's just, the reason I made this video is because I wanted to talk about my predictions for what the Switch 2 are going to do. You know, we had the renders leak, and I can't show those here because I don't want my video to get copyrighted or taken down because I'm not a big enough YouTuber to fight it. But we had the renders of what the Switch 2 is going to look like, supposedly. Those leaked. That could have been a red herring. No one really knows. And that's kind of another point I wanted to make in this video. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying it because they want the views. And that kind of frustrates me because I feel like you're breaking your trust with your audience when you're making a video just for the views. Just because, oh, look, this leak, even though me as a person, I know it's probably not real, I'm going to make it sound like it is. Fuck, just stop doing that. Stop it. Okay? Just quit. Then the other thing, aside from the renders, was that we did officially hear from Nintendo that the Switch successor will be backwards compatible. Now, it doesn't go into extreme detail as far as how backwards compatible it is. Like, is it still going to take micro SD cards so we can put the current generation of SD cards in the Switch and then just re-download all our games? Is it backwards compatible only digitally? Can we only re-download digital purchases? Is it going to be backwards compatible digitally and physically? So if you have the physical cartridge, is it going to work in the Switch successor? These are the answers that we don't have yet. I think that it would be smart for Nintendo as a business, and everyone's going to hate me for this, but I think it would personally be smart for them not to make it backwards compatible both ways, like it's one or the other, just so they can resell you the same hardware. I mean, they've done that for years anyway, so, or not hardware, software, so they can resell you the same software, same games, over and over and over again. I don't think that's a good thing. I just think that as a business decision for them is probably smarter. We also don't know how much more power the Switch 2 is going to have. According to a lot of speculation and rumors, it's supposed to be way stronger than the Switch, but still not as strong as the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One. And I don't think there's anything really wrong with not having PS5 or Xbox One level graphics, series graphics, because I've said this before in other Nintendo videos. Nintendo focuses on making really good games. They focus on giving you something with replayability and something with a decent story and decent mechanics. They don't really focus on 4K graphics and 120 FPS. You know what I'm saying? That's never been Nintendo's priority ever. Now, when we went from the N64 to the GameCube, that was a huge step up. The GameCube was ahead of its time. But anyway, rambling, getting off topic. Again, I just wanted to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2, my predictions for it. I think it's going to come out be announced March 2025. I think it's going to be released in November of 2025. And I just want to come back later and see if I'm right. Let me know down in the comments when you think it's going to come out. Let me know what you want from it. What do you expect from it? Do you want it to have the beefiest chip ever and be able to run things kind of like a Steam Deck so you can play Call of Duty and everything else on it? Or do you not really care too much about the power? Like I say, just let me know. I'll see you all later.